Hi. This is Jeremy here. I just got back. I went to my friend Zach's for the weekend, and, we had a bad movie marathon. And, a very epic bad movie marathon. I'm just gonna go over each of the bad movies we went through and, talk about them briefly. The first one we watched was inspired by Phaelus' video of it, a time machine I got in a yard sale. Now, I didn't finish the review. I only got to see some of it, but I was like, this movie looks fun. We're gonna do a bad movie marathon. Why not? Let's do this. Boy, was that a horrible mistake. A time machine I saw in I got in a yard sale, which is the title of the movie, is a colossal failure on every single level. Watching that film is like walking into... It's like the universe... You know how they'll have... like, the universe will blow up and it'll just be a white void of nothingness. That's kind of what this movie's like. The acting was made... The acting was pretty bad. It was really bad. The main guy, for some reason, they made him look like James Dean. They had him with sideburns and the haircut and the shirt. I don't know why. I mean, I guess, was this supposed to be an homage to 50s movies or something? I don't know. The main girl was just odd. She was just she looked odd. She looked like she didn't want to be in the thing. Neither did he. They looked like they didn't want to be together. It felt like a guy got a green screen and said to his friends, "Hey, I want to make a movie." And then they were like, "Okay, let's make a movie." And they made it, and they're like, "Well, this guy, this kind of came out terribly, but, whatever. Well, I guess that's it. We just made kind of a crappy film. No big deal. But it somehow got on the internet. It was a film that should not have been released. The special effects they looked unfinished. It was so... the main thing that bothered me was just... The plot was made absolutely no sense. At all. It was just complete and utter nonsense. Okay, this guy is the chosen one. And he finds a time machine at a yard sale. And he goes into the future and he meets this woman. And then he goes back to his time with this woman. And then he just so happens to find a spaceship out in the middle of the woods. And then he starts going on spaceship adventures. It was honestly just it was an incredibly dull film. And there was no point to it. There was nothing to be gained from it. There was no watching this film is like staring into a void of nothing. I hated it. I hated every second of it. I wasn't happy. I couldn't even laugh at it. I laughed at a couple scenes, but I mean, there was this scene, this weird sex scene thing where the woman's brushing her hair out of nowhere. Oh my god, it's impossible to talk about this movie because it was just kind of just random shit on the screen. There was no story, there was no characters. You didn't even know their names. Like, I just called the guy James Dean, and I called the girl Denny's waitress. I mean, I did not like it. It wasn't like Birdemic where it's so silly that it's charming. At least Birdemic, you can follow what's going on, even though it is preposterous, which is part of the fun of Birdemic. But this, it was like, okay, they have a time machine, now they're in a spaceship, now they're going on space adventures, now they're going after space bandits, now they're on Mars, now they're in Saturn, now they're on Coruscant. Now they're on Hoth. What the fuck is going on? It's a film that you just kind of sit there and you wonder to yourself, why am I watching this? Why am I not doing something else? This is a waste of time. There's lots of lingering shots of nothing, lots of, we have to see every step he takes, every single step, no cuts. They pointed out the orange juice scene where, if I would do it now, I would just be like, now imagine that if I drank the whole thing right now. And not said a word. I mean, most of the movie consists of them walking in front of a green screen, not saying anything, or sitting in a spaceship saying, "This is fun." Yeah, this is fun. Yeah, it's just bad. It's dull. It's boring. It's not worth your time. I watched it on YouTube. It's not worth your time. It's not for me, I guess. I mean, in terms of funny bad movies, I didn't think it was funny. I just thought it was dull. I thought it. I was like, oh, so this is what would happen if Terrence Malick made The Amazing Bulk. Well, that's great. I needed to see that. So, I mean, there's not really much I can say about this film. It's just boring. It's pointless. It's a waste of time. Alright. I'm gonna stop the video and I'm going to start talking about Bacalao.